are more chipper this week than you were 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Or was it last week? Was it Wednesday that we went on that you were sad?
Yeah, that was
It was last week.
It feels like forever ago.
It does. It does.
It does. And I'm going to address that too because shit. Oy, boy.
Sox Twitter went on another tear Thursday, calling out the organization for not going higher on Machado.
Yep.
And giving up on Bryce Harper. That's like 3 days after I went off and said, I don't want Harper.
Yep. Still a bad take.
He said he was out of our range. That was a pretty bad take.
Still a bad take.
No, I didn't say that, did I? I just said I didn't want him. I don't want him.
Kenny said he was out of our range. $25.4 million a year.
But he doesn't like the perception of being cheap.
That's the best
fucking moron.
I retweeted it from SM. You guys ready?
Yep.
Yeah, whatever.
All right. Just making sure. Yep. All right. Let me get today's date because I'm dumb. Oh, it's March 1st. Or 20. Yeah, March 1st.
Rest assured that no one is feeling what Rick and I are feeling because every single day since June of last year, this is what we had planned for. This makes it a million times worse.
We're about to talk about it on our show. Keep it in your pants for 5 minutes.
By the way, hey, I do have to share this with you. This is how stupid Vegas fans are. Are we live? Hi, guys.
Yeah.
Welcome. We got our Vegas Twitter heroes are saying, like I've been saying for months, East Las Vegas native Bryce Harper did sign one of the biggest contracts in sports history. Duh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we all knew that was going to happen.
I'm pretty much the whole internet has said that, and including 4 dead people. What? Yeah. This is our genius here. So sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I've been dealing with some regular.
It's fun.
Regular Neil deGrasse Tyson's here. So
yep, internet's fun.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What's going on, everybody? It is Friday, March 1st. Thank God February is over. It is Friday, March 1st. Maybe this will be a better month for you White Sox fans, Cubs fans. I know you're cruising, and you have found the Pinwheels and Ivy podcast. I am your host, Matt Zawoski. They call me Zoe. And with me, as always, Aldo Soto.
I want to credit myself because back in November or December, I said that the Cubs were either going to make a big move or they weren't. So I was right.
Yep. That's pretty much how they the last couple of days. And Matanuco.
Just hold on. I'm pouring more wine right now.
Yeah, you're getting a lot more than that. And in Vegas, Mr. K. Fizz. What's up, Kevin?
Hey, I'm completely shocked that Bryce Harper signed with the Phillies. Absolutely floored. I mean, up until the last minute, I really didn't think he was going to go anywhere. I was going to sign with the Schaumburg Flyers. Anyway, son of a bitch.
And we're going to get into why Kevin is surprised. Spoiler, he's not. Yeah, so, I mean, that's the big story is Bryce Harper. We have a new story that happened before we went live here that we're going to discuss first on the show. Kenny Williams thinks you're dumb, and we're going to talk about it. So all that being said, let's tap this keg. This show is brought to you by Sports Mockery, sportsmockery.com. Make sure you're downloading the app in the iTunes and Google Play Store. Sports Mockery, enable those push notifications. Sports Mockery, sportsmockery.com. Follow them on Twitter at Sports Mockery and on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter at Pinwheels and Ivy Pod. Make sure you give us a follow. You'll see all of our personal handles in the bio. And it's brought to you by TickBlitz, tickblitz.com, TIXBLITZ.com. You can find all your tickets for everything, shows, movies, sporting events, tickblitz.com, guaranteed with no hidden fees, and your tickets will be there. The tickblitz.com stat of the week is, again, for the second week in the row, 0, as in the White Sox have 0 big free agents. All right, that is your tickblitz.com stat of the week again for the second week in a row. So we're going to start this off. We've never done this before on the show, and we're going to start this off with me simply just reading a quote. I just want to present it. It's just a quote, and we're going to go off of this quote. People are lost on the fact that on a yearly basis, our offer was more than San Diego's. The average annual value was $31 million and change. So it was about years guaranteed. So there is an argument that could be made that our offer was the better of the two. It certainly had more upside for him. All he had to do basically was stay healthy.
My favorite part of that is the next sentence. All the Sox had to do was dig a little deeper.
Yeah.
And show words.
That was a very solid buy. Who had the Kenny one? I'm mixing them up again.
Daryl Van Schoen,
yeah,
CST Sox fan.
You know, guys, let's give a round of applause to the White Sox. Congratulations, they had the best deal.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, Kenny.
Guys.
Rick. They had the best deal.
I'm gonna pour this in front of the camera.
Yes, because he's pouring a little out for all of us White Sox fans because we're all died a little inside in the month of February.
Just a little.
So basically, Kenny comes out with his interview after Harper signs.
Just before.
He did the interview before, but the interview went public after.
Right.
And basically, Kenny's he's dumbfounded by the fact that the narrative is the White Sox are cheap, because even though they didn't offer the same amount of guaranteed money, which eventually cost them the deal, in theory, if all Manny had to do was stay healthy, guys, and he could have made more money. That's all he had to do.
Yeah, it's Manny's fault.
Manny's fault. Manny's lost. Can't the Dodgers say that to Bryce Harper? Why aren't they saying that to their fans? Well, we were giving him more money per year.
Yeah. And it's just, I don't know about you guys. When I was reading this, I was reading it in like the most smug Kenny Williams voice in my head. And I just, oh man, it got me fired up. I tweeted out, said I was more mad at myself for being mad at this because why was I surprised?
Why were you surprised?
Why am I surprised? Kenny Williams has thought we were idiots for the last decade. He just thinks we're like peons that just funnel in and give him money, which, if you want to break it down, but I mean, it's just like, holy shit, man. You guys completely shit the bed. Just stop talking.
And this comes out the same day, later in the day, after Scott Merkin publishes his Q&A with Hahn, where Hahn was still kind of, seemed like Merkin was pressing him a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And he got a little testy. Just kind of like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah. And so
I can tell him what I want him to do. Somebody take responsibility. Somebody step up and say, you know what, put this on me. It's not going to happen again, and make it not happen again.
Because they're still giving an excuse. We saw with Kenny. It's like, oh no, it's not our fault. We tried our best. We gave him the most money. Like, no, you didn't.
What else could we do?
I mean, we had to off her.
Yeah, this isn't kindergarten kickball. You're not getting a participation medal here. Like, if you tried your best and you failed, then someone else needs that job.
Look at what the Phillies did. When we talked about this before the show, the money and the years are absolutely flabbergasting. You're like, what's going on? But then you break it down, and he's making less money. He's making less money than
Nuke's talking about. And if you like don't have internet or cable or a phone, or
you live under a rock,
you can't visually see a newspaper, and
I don't know. Your phone has great reception.
Right. Bryce Harper signed with the Phillies, 13 years, $330 million. And what Nuke's talking about is his AAV, his annual
average
value is less than Manny. He's making less money than Manny Machado per year. But then afterwards, and we discussed this too pre-show, you want to win over a fan base like Philadelphia, you say what Bryce Harper said after signing that deal. Because you sign that deal, you immediately have a bullseye on your back. If he comes out and struggles in April, holy shit, in Philadelphia after signing that. But he came out after he signed that deal, and there's no opt-outs in this deal. It's a full no trade clause, and Boris and Harper both made a point of getting in front of the media right after the details were starting to roll out and say, we asked for that. He said Harper specifically asked for no opt-outs and a full no trade clause. And when asked why, Bryce Harper, and this is how you win a fan base, said, I told Boris this is the last contract I want to sign. This is the last team I'm going to play for. I'm playing for this team. I'm going to recruit better players. Or not, he didn't say better. That'd be a shot at his current teammates. I'm going to recruit players to come here and win. And the reason I wanted to do that is because by me signing a contract like that, it's showing other players my commitment to Philadelphia.
What another kick to the balls of White Sox fans.
I know, because all I keep thinking about is why can't we have that? That how awesome that would be in Chicago? Holy fuck.
Because when Harper came back, when Boris came back and said no full no trade clause, no opt-outs, give us your best offer, they stepped up and did it.
Yes.
They did it.
And then Kenny says the deal was out of our range.
For the but they're not cheap. He said that in the same article.
We're not further than we were willing to go.
That's wild.
As Daryl Van Schoen wrote, all you had to do was dig a little deeper.
Wild.
And they had the second lowest. All right, so the Phillies had the lowest payroll coming into 2019. Mm-hmm. The White Sox had the second lowest.
And it goes.
But then wait. Part of that article was all about the future and 7 years down the road, what we're going to have to pay these young players.
Kenny's banking on like the best rebuild ever in sports. Every single prospect has to hit.
Kenny Williams has become a verb. You don't want to get Kenny Williams in negotiations. What he did, I mean, they're swinging misses, and then there's like swinging a miss so bad that you tear your groin, blow out your ACL, and actually shit your pants. I mean, he did all three. He got the holy trinity of like failure. And
then, I mean, all he had to do was shut the hell up. Nope. He shouldn't have done that interview. Shouldn't have done that.
He should have. He just should have said something different, because that's my whole thing.
That's what I mean. Like, he wasn't going to, so just don't do it.
He wasn't going to. I mean, okay, we got 2 Cubs fans, we got 2 White Sox fans. Zoe, you and me.
Yeah.
Look me in the eyes, buddy.
I always do.
Look me in the eyes.
I always do.
In my eyes, my pretty ones.
You beautiful bastard. I always stare right deep into your eyes. It's getting weird fast. What's going on?
This hurts. This, like you said in the beginning, even the Harper deal, just the deal. We all knew he was signing with Philly. The size and scope of the deal, the less money than Manny Machado, it hurts White Sox fans, because everybody knew he was going to go to Philly. Late rumors with maybe like LA and San Francisco. Phillies closed the deal, said no way, we're shutting the door on this, no more. Right? For the past 2 years, the White Sox, for decades, the White Sox have done consistently, rebuild from older players, overpay for old players, right? Recycle, no rebuilds. Yep. Finally, 2 years ago, they tear the whole thing down. Jerry didn't want to do it, apparently. He was like, I'm too old and I want to be competitive. Hahn had to sell him on it, right? Tears it down. They sell fire sale. Rick Hahn's tearing it up. Magician. Goes from 28th minor league system to like first or second best, depending on who you ask, what publication, in a year, in the matter of a season, right? He signs Lubob, right, off the international market.
My homie.
Things are like going incredibly well. Guy can't do anything wrong. Everything, even in that Kenny Williams article, in that interview, he even said everything was lined up, even last June, for this offseason. You can't miss. And you know what's the biggest punch to the gut of every White Sox fan is that this was supposed to be different. It was supposed to be different. They did something different. We have the money. The money's there. The payroll's low. Young players coming up. Put a centerpiece in there for the whole thing to be built around. And then they just did exactly what we expected them to do.
I feel like you're angry a week after me.
No, I mean, no, just because you know what? All right, so here's my point.
I like it.
We all feel the same way. But you know what I demand? The White Sox media, the people, don't, unrelenting, do not give 1 inch on these guys. Pound them. Pound them right up the, you know what? Ooh. No, they deserve to give some kind of responsibility, some kind of accountability to their fans. They do. They're not a public company. They don't have to do anything. There's no transparency obligated. The fans deserve some kind of explanation. Somebody step up and take responsibility and said, you know what? Defend Jerry. Say, no, Jerry was willing to spend anything we wanted. We thought that 8 and 250 was going to get it done.
But they keep saying that.
Right. Well, then
they preface it by saying we thought it was the best.
That's what I'm saying.
I want more. I want details. I want them to explain to us why they thought 8 and 250 was enough. when everybody on planet Earth knew that Manny Machado wanted $300 million.
That's fair.
By the way, I wanted to ask both of you because it's been the Machado signing happened last week, but does this one hurt? Does this one hurt more?
No,
or no? Because but the thing was that it was always they were in on Machado or Harper, and obviously after January they made it clear that Machado was their like top target.
Right.
But after missing out on Machado, like how do you not? And I know like basically every White Sox fan lost hope. Like how are you not even a factor anymore? Like that means they just bowed out on Harper like months ago,
and it was only $30 million more for a lot longer.
Right.
Like that's a drop. That's $15 million a year more than what they said they thought they offered. Except of course they wanted a chance with their stupid little performance-based incentive extension part, where that's where they got cheap. They instead of just admitting that it was a stupid idea to try and wiggle out of a 10-year guarantee and try and weasel in a 2-year like maybe fluid thing if he's not getting it done. Bryce Harper just got 13 years. He got twice the average length span of a United States of America marriage. Twice that. Okay. I mean, when he's sitting on the couch eating bonbons, farting up a storm with the Phillies, he's still got another 7 years to go. He's going to be sitting there with his hands down his pants like Al Bundy for a decade, and could have had that. They could have had. I mean, well, you don't want the Al Bundy hand down your pants, but you do want to have a guy that you can lock up. And to say that they couldn't jump in on Harper immediately, considering it was literally just $30 million more over 2 years, let alone.
Right. Isn't the definition of like, could White Sox fans could respect missing if the front office went above and beyond and said, I'm a little uncomfortable with this. If he accepts it, I'm uncomfortable with it, but I'm okay with it because it's what we need.
Right.
That's then we'd say, right.
That's all we never asked for.
The old college try.
If we went, and honestly, I never saw Harper coming here. I didn't see them even pursuing him because I just didn't think he'd fit. And I know it's like, how can he not fit? He's the best player on the market. I know, I get it. But it'd be like just buying the best player just because he's the best player and not even thinking about how he fits in and the length and the terms and all that.
Which is fine.
Which I would have taken him. If they would have signed him, if they would have given him 13 years and $330 million, I would have been like, damn, okay.
Right.
Let's try and figure this out. But I just never, I would have put 5% chance that would ever happened.
But they put his name up on the scoreboard. They did. When the United Center wasn't open.
There was a banner. There was a ribbon banner.
They put a jersey on a statue.
Oh, come on. That gets us excited.
Everybody were selling tickets.
Although, to answer your question, I mean, I'm just deflated and defeated and just feel like I got beat up when it comes to being a Sox fan. So when this news came out today, I was like, okay. But the thing that did put a little salt in the wound, a little extra in there, was the whole no opt-out. Because we all know Jerry fucking hates opt-outs. And that was one of the reasons why they lost the Manny deal. Right. And then you have Harper turning around saying, hey, guys, no opt-out necessary. Don't want it. Want to be the face of a franchise. I want to be your marketing baby. I want to be your gold crown jewel for the next
golden goose.
And that's the thing.
You realize if you work in a marketing department for the Chicago White Sox and you're sitting there and you're like, dude, you could have just gave me this guy for 13 years. They could have pre-made marketing material for 10 years down the road. 13 years of having the same superstar. Organizations dream of having that kind of commitment from a superstar. Mike Trout has had his bags packed in his house in LA for 2 years now, just waiting. He's got like one of those digital countdown clocks that they have in like bars that say like countdown to St. Patty's Day. Mike Trout has one that says countdown to $1 billion. And it's just waiting till he gets that free agency. And he already has his bag packed. The man lives out of a suitcase. I guarantee it.
Oh, 100%.
He can't wait to get out of LA. So I'm just saying, you see it in all sports. Like the New Orleans Pelicans had to redo their entire marketing campaign and Photoshop Anthony Davis out of everything. I'm just saying, like, that stability from your superstar, and for him to come out and say that right away, that's exactly what the White Sox wanted.
Yep.
That's exactly what they wanted. Exactly what they wanted.
I just have two last things on this Harper thing. Well, one, it's like we can't say this enough. I don't know if you're a White Sox fan, how you have any confidence that they're ever going to get like one of the top free agents ever.
Absolutely.
Like, and it's not even just the position player. And I know next year, there's going to be Garrett Cole, there's going to be Chris Sale. Like, those are basically the top free agents. Because Nolan Arenado, by the way, we haven't brought that up.
There's another one. That's
he
the double.
signed a record-breaking extension. But I mean, the Sox they obviously don't want to take any risk. It's almost like they saw the Cubs signing Jason Hayward, and they saw how that just completely blew up in their face. And they're like, we don't want to take that risk. But guess what? You have to do that in free agency.
I love it when a World Series championship blows up in your face. I mean, if that's what's going to happen, that's kind of like walking into. Oh, never mind. I won't say what blows up in your face.
No, that's the thing. It's
I'll take that.
It's like, hey, sometimes some of these deals don't work, and other times you get A-Rod. And guess what? His deal worked out. He was a bargain for what he produced those 10 years. Mm-hmm. And they just don't want any risk. And then the second thing I just wanted to bring up, as bad as how the Sox lost out to Machado, and that was I do think that was obviously a serious pursuit.
Yep.
But the Washington Nationals.
Oh gosh.
With the Washington Nationals trying to show a good face for the fans, and then it comes out that they had $100 million deferred until Bryce Harper was 60 years old. Are you kidding me?
They're trying to Bobby Bonilla his ass.
Oh my God.
Worse than Bobby Bonilla, and that's like Bob Doling his ass.
Yeah, that was so funny. The tweet that information came out was hilarious. Made even MLB officials queasy.
Yeah. Until he was
like,
sick.
don't take that.
Oh, dude, no.
Please don't. No, please don't.
I'll play it for a year in LA if you need to. Just don't do that.
Right? Yeah. No wonder that, because that offer supposedly came right after the season. Yeah. No shit. Bryce Harper didn't agree to it.
God, $100 million deferred till he's
100 million deferred till he's 60. And then, so the other things that came out that he turned down, San Francisco did pony up, but they kind of were the White Sox in this scenario where they just didn't go far enough. And then the Dodgers went a different route and went 4 years with a higher AAV. So it was like, I personally, if I'm in Bryce's shoes, I'm taking that Dodgers deal. But now I get what his train of thought was and all that stuff. I mean, I don't know. It still seems wild.
I mean, 4 years. Then he's on a 30. Then he's on a year-to-year, 2-year deals with 3-year deal with options.
Right.
And then you're trying to piece together the last 10 years of your career. But that it still shows that those were market-driven offers, right? The Phillies just blew the market up, and they didn't overspend, but they just did something that was wow, okay.
I wonder if, do you think, what was their initial offer?
All those nerds coming up with this stuff. What?
I wonder what their initial offer was, because obviously it went up. It took forever because they needed to get to the 330. I wonder what their initial offer even was.
Well, it had to be somewhere
10 and 300.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what the Nats was reported. They were reported he was denying that early in free agency. So that was the base.
That's not even that much more, though, because that would only be 3 more years, 30 million more.
Right, but the longer you go, if the Phillies are going to give you those 3 extra years, you got to give something back, don't you? A little something.
That's why they did it. That's why they did the 13 years.
All right, so and you're checking off one of those boxes for Harper. Historic deal.
Yep, there it is.
Yep.
And it was
we talked about that before too.
You did say that he's the kind of guy that just
he wants
for ego's sake wants that.
Yeah.
And what was it? $5 million more?
Yeah, it's 5 more. That's it.
Now, when you think about it though, too, I was completely shocked that he signed with the Phillies at all.
Never said that.
Never saw that coming.
Never saw it.
Some guy from Vegas called it in October.
I don't think the World Series was over yet.
I'm not gloating at all. But the part about that deal too, and I was actually talking about this with some of the coaching staff today at practice. We saw one of our better players today just at practice, just fielding ground balls, almost take one right off the chin, right? Anything can happen in the game of baseball, especially when you're playing. It doesn't matter what happens to Bryce Harper for the next 13 years of his life. He is guaranteed to get $45,000 per plate appearance, or whatever the AAV is for over 13 years. He's going to get $330 million, whether or not he can even, get out of bed in the morning at this point, barring any kind of.
And Manny Machado gets more for the next 10.
Yep. But Manny's those extra 3 years. In 10 years from now, Manny's not going to get a $30 million deal. He might not get a $10 million deal because he's going to be Oh,
right.
So Bryce is going to be a 37-year-old dude. At that point, I can almost guarantee he'll be traded to the Yankees, DHing. I don't know, for the Yankees or Tampa Bay or the Royals or someone. But
and that's the thing. The no trade clause. Just throw that out. All right. Yeah, it protects both player and the team, but at some point he's going to be traded.
And the thing about that, I'm pretty sure you automatically get a no trade clause after you spend 5 straight years with the team. And by that time, Harper would have been 10 years, the 10 and 5 rule. So, like, I mean, he's going to get it anyway.
Mm-hmm. So no need to negotiate it in there. Yeah. And if he wants a change of scenery, if he's hating where he's at,
they'll both
hold all the cards. He can waive anything if he wants to.
Right.
And he can end up wherever he so chooses. That's the beauty of this contract. It's 100%
and the money follows him. Exactly. The money follows him. Like if it becomes an albatross if it becomes Jason Hayward for the Phillies, split it, split the difference with somebody. Somebody needs him.
Don't think for a second Scott Boras is looking at Chris KB going,
oh, yeah.
2021, my man. Get the MVP one more time.
The Arenado deal and now the Bryant deal.
Ooh, the Bryant deal is going to be pretty big.
Yep.
So here's something funny.
Do it now before the market goes up.
Sorry, I'm cutting you off real quick, Zoe, but I was listening. I haven't listened to Philly Sports Talk Radio for a long time. But
killing Bryce in the morning.
Today, they're brutal. They're brutal.
10 hours before he signed.
If he doesn't perform, he's getting Duracells thrown at him anyway. So, I mean,
we boost Santa. We're gritty. No.
Oh God, no! Don't be gritty. My nightmare.
No. So a caller calls in and he says, "Yeah, I know Bryce and KB and Chris Bryant are really good friends. What's the chance that we get him in Philly?" And I'm just like shaking my head, like.
It's funny that you bring that up because someone DM'd me that on Twitter, and it said like, "Hey, everyone made this thing about Harper and KB being a friend and him recruiting them to the Cubs. They both have Boras as an agent. Do you think Harper would recruit KB to come to the Phillies?" I wrote back, "Stop DMing me. Don't stop."
I mean, that'd be Harper, then Trout, then Bryant, like in 3 years. Wow.
Well, Trout's a foregone conclusion. I'm telling you, and I don't know. I mean, the money wise, and I know. Let's be realistic about we can just diverge into Trout land a little bit here. He's going to be 28. Do you think he gets a 10-year deal?
Yes.
I don't think it matters, but he's going to get like 40 a year.
At least.
You give
at
him
least 40. So there's your $400 million.
He's going to get, let's see, what is it? He'll get like 8 for 320.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think that's fair. Or you give him 10 and 400 and opt outs after 6 and 8, right?
You give him the White Sox deal. Yeah, the vesting options for 9 and 10. There you go. Hey,
we already solved it.
We've already fixed baseball this year. We just fixed the contract now too.
We fixed. And I'll tell you what. If Mike Trout, I will tell you if baseball is broken in 2 years. If Mike Trout doesn't sign in the first 2 months of the offseason, baseball's fucking broken.
Spoiler alert, it's broken because that's not going to happen.
I mean, who's going to hold out? Who's going to say, no, we can't afford them?
I hope
if they are, their fan base should be flipping.
And that's the thing. It's not like they can even make the excuse of like a Pujols or like Cabrera when he got his deal or whatever. They can't even say, "Oh, he's on the wrong side of 30." He's not, or he's not going to be.
Nope.
No,
he'll be in Philly because he's a super duper South Jersey.
Well, you know what they're gonna say, Nuke. They're gonna be like, he's an outfielder. He's not a fit. We'll wait for KB next year. That's what teams are. That's what the leaked reports are going to say. We really like Chris Bryant, and then the Cubs are going to sign into an extension, and then fuck everybody else.
You know what drives me up a wall is when like we have clicked off like after Arenado signed, like Machado signs, Arenado gets extended, and then people are like, "Yeah, I really wanted Jose Rondon anyway."
Right?
She was ugly.
It's like the group of the 3 hot chicks, but like you took the ugly friend that was just around.
The one getting them their drinks.
Mm-hmm.
That's terrible. We are not chauvinistic.
She's in the bathroom with IBS right now. She's not even in part of that group.
And It's gonna be hilarious. The same fans who are like, "Oh, do you really want like those final 4 years when he's in his 30s?" Guess what? Anthony Rendon is now the best free agent position player. He's gonna be 31.
You know?
I don't even go. So let's move on. Go ahead.
Let's get to something positive.
Well, there's
Maybe with some steak.
they're actually playing baseball now, so we can stop talking about front offices and contracts.
You'll keep swinging.
It won't go away.
I know.
I'm not letting this go away.
Oh, you're not like on a crusade, dude. There's like 1,000 people that are not letting this go.
Nuke is literally a week late. Everyone was pissed off last week, and Nuke is just now jumping
It's
on.
delayed outrage. It's like slow Hulk.
It's compounded. Compounded. Like interest.
You just needed that one final jab from Kenny tonight.
Funny. I mean, I couldn't tell you the last time I saw a beat writer refer to the fan base's Twitter. And you're seeing Sox beat writers being like, and the fans are still pissed.
Twitter lights on fire.
Oh, well, let's not forget that Paul Sullivan thinks that Sox fans shouldn't be mad at all. So
Right. Because they'll never spend enough for Sox fans or for Chicago baseball fans to be happy. That was terrible. That was a bad take.
Sorry, Paul, but that's just terrible.
Are we coming to the end of the offseason of Icarus, though, too? So I'm going to be sad to see it go.
But there's no free agents.
There's no Dallas Keuchel, Craig
Kimball.
But no one's going to be jumping to break those stories and getting retweeted thousands of times like this Bryce Harper and the Manny Machado stuff.
That's where we jump in.
That's where it's a rest in peace moment for the offseason. And those who have
I've officially volunteered this podcast to be Chris Bryant's negotiation tool.
That's right.
In the media. So, Chris, I know you listen, bud. What's up? And we totally use our podcast to negotiate bigger contracts.
I'm hearing that there are at least 15 teams interested in Chris Bryant after 2021.
That's 1-5, baby. 15 teams.
At least 15 teams.
It's the
also heard from sources that they will pay him in American dollars.
There's 15 teams. There's the Phillies and 14 wild cards.
Yep. Oh, 15
dark horse, 14 mystery teams, and then there's one dark horse.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's a dark horse, and it's the Cubs.
It's the Cubs.
The Cubs are the dark horse for their own guy.
We love mystery teams. So, but actually,
thank you. Love it.
Actual baseball is being played. Spring training is in full force. So there are some things that have come out in these early lines. Although, why don't you just talk about some things that are going on in the Cubs camp? We've been bitching about the White Sox for 3 weeks now. Talk some Cubs, bud. What's going on in there?
I don't know if it's good or bad, but I love it. But Chris Bryant is sassy this year.
Love Chris Bryant.
Sassy.
Kevin obviously knows him from coaching him in high school, and like we've known that Chris Bryant is pretty boring. Has never really said anything interesting, which is fine.
Drinks butter beer on Friday nights. Gets a little wild.
That's right. You know,
he has two. When he's feeling a little frisky,
it's a lot of carbs. I don't know.
Wipes the cream off on top though, because
if it's a double feature, if it's both parts of Deathly Hallows, maybe he'll double it up.
But Chris Bryant is out for blood. Number one, he's found motivation, which is great. All the doubters, which there were many last year, because he got hurt and he was bad for the last 4 months of the year. But he basically said to all the critics, all the haters, bring it. So he's going to win the MVP in 2019. Excited to see that. He's still pissed off about the service time issue that Major League Baseball has. And he was all over that this week. And then he was also asked about after the Arenado deal. He's like, hey, I really like that deal, obviously, because, I mean, he's the start of that deal, or the start of the first 4 years of their careers, Bryant has put up better numbers than Arenado. So obviously he's looking at that contract, and Scott Boras is looking at that deal, and he's like, all right, Cubs, you want to talk extension? You know, let's get like 10 years, like 320 or whatever it's going to take to get him, because like no Boras client other than Strasburg has signed an extension.
Yeah.
And then to go along with that, he also said, he's like, hey, we're not fucking idiots. We're not stupid. We know that every team in Major League Baseball has the money to sign guys whenever they want, except for the White Sox, apparently.
Yeah.
Good. He's
point.
like,
no, they had the best deal.
I forgot they did have the
them and the Dodgers.
Shame on me, I forgot.
Yeah. Christ.
But I mean, KB's on it. I love it. I'm worried that. I mean, I don't think he like. It's not like it's if the Cubs obviously no matter what team gives Bryant his next big deal, it's going to be a big fucking deal. So I don't think that he'd like turn down the Cubs to spite them because they kept him down for 2 weeks in 2015.
He's already over that.
Can you give me the cliff notes on what he said about the?
He filed the grievance during his rookie year, and that case is still ongoing. I don't know how those cases.
It was forced by
forced by the union, right?
I mean,
where the
and it was Boris too, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, but he's still vocal about it. He's the one bringing it up, so he's still kind of mad because he's
a finance major.
Yeah, he's. Well, didn't he want to be a dentist?
Yeah,
wait a minute.
About midway through first semester, I think he's kind of like, maybe I should change this. Cleaning teeth is great. Counting money's better. So let's figure this out. And
so if we,
because he like called out MLB. He's like, oh, they're keep promoting guys like Eloy, guys like Tatis Jr., Vlad Jr. Yet everyone knows that it's a dirty system. It's part of the rules, but obviously it damages the players. Yep. The whole service time manipulation. So KB is, and I think it was last year or in 2017. He also had an interview where he's like, I didn't really pay attention to much of the stuff when I was like coming up, but obviously there's going to be a new CBA after 2021. It's like, well, I'm going to be pretty vocal about it then because I mean, he got screwed a lot of players. He didn't get completely screwed. I mean, he's still going to get like $12 million this year.
Well, he had a historic arbitration deal last year, right?
He got paid, and he got paid even after like that first year too. Yeah. The thing is too, you got to take into Chris is. I mean, I don't know. I guess they haven't Wonder Lick tested everybody in Major League Baseball, but I would put it out there that Chris Bryant may be one of the, if not the most intelligent man in professional baseball.
Well, don't say that.
He's got a photographic memory. So he's a baseball savant. So, I mean, he knows what everybody's doing. He's a okay, look, Bryce Harper loves the Golden Knights. Bryce Harper loves these baseball players here in town in Vegas. They're out all the time. Chris is just baseball. Like he'd go to a Golden Knights game because he's given tickets. He's not at the UNLV games. He is baseball all the time, other than paying attention to his family and his wife. The dude is, and so as a player rep, I actually can see Chris being like the voice of Major League Baseball's Players Association long after he's done playing baseball. I feel like he's someone that has the intelligence and obviously the education and
Tony Clark
and the know-how, to be someone that actually sticks around and stands up for players long after he's done playing. And I think, when you see him, he's the kind of kid, when he was freshman, we called him Mousy because he wouldn't say shit with a mouthful of manure. He smiled with those big old white teeth and wouldn't say a damn word. And we were mouthy. I mean, we're idiots. Okay. And he was the one guy that would just sit there and just smile. And you bring it up, the bring it comment. I can tell you right now, there's one time in my entire life that I have seen him, twice, pissed off, where he has a face. There's a face. Okay, it's like the vinegar face. It's there, and when you see it, he's on. And his senior year of high school was Bryce Harper's freshman year in college. Everybody was talking about Bryce Harper, Golden Spikes, CSN. Chris is in his senior year, and he came out that senior year, and in 31 games, I think we played. He hit like 23 home runs. He was mad, and everything that he hit, again, coaching third was no fun.
All right.
So he gets hot, and he's got that stank, and he's got that now. And so I kind of actually fear for Major League Baseball because when he says bring it.
I hope he does it. I hope he does it.
As a Cubs fan, hearing Kevin say that from his experiences with Chris, that's got to put some lead in your pencil. That's got to get you straightened out and ready to go because as a
lead in your pencil.
I am a White Sox fan. I don't hate the Cubs. I'm sorry if that lets people down. I don't. I hate the Twins. I hate the Tigers. I hate the Indians. I just don't. I've never had a feeling one way or the other towards the Cubs. And I'm a Chris Bryant fan. Have been since he got in the league because of all the reasons that were just mentioned. I mean, the guy is like, if you created what you wanted a baseball player to be, and he's smart, he's not an asshole, treats fans right, treats his wife right, good head on his shoulders, good role model. But to see him pissed off and do the bring it thing, I got
see that
for the National League. I got nervous for baseball because I went, and I know no one gives a shit about your fantasy team. Goes for football and baseball. I went out of my way to overdraft Chris Bryant because I think he's just going to kill people this year.
I had to double change my shorts that day.
Well, the best thing was those comments came right after the best thing ever. His first at bat in spring training game.
Mashed the ball.
One-handed home run.
Mashed.
Oh.
Am I healthy? I don't know. What do you think?
Oh.
How's this?
Ball was charged up.
Give me a minute.
By the way, the other time I saw him pissed, he hit a baseball about 540 feet.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Chris Bryant back to being healthy is scary enough. You have a back to being healthy pissed off Chris Bryant, that you're gonna have a bad time.
Willson Contreras is playing for his country. He just 2 Rockets in the first 4 games.
A very good spring.
Is this a World Baseball Classic year?
No,
this isn't a World Baseball Classic year, right?
Next, I think it'd be 2021. I think it's every 4 years.
It's every 4 years, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but Willson Contreras is definitely. I mean, he literally wears Venezuela on his arm, but the country's in some turmoil right now, and you could tell he's very outspoken about it, and he's trying to. Is he petitioning Major League Baseball so he can wear this sleeve again, or what?
Yeah, it is because they didn't let him last year.
Right, that's so dumb. But he's coming out in spring. He's mashing the shit out of the ball, and okay. For all you nukes out there, we all understand that it's Arizona and it's hot and the ball travels farther and people are going to hit better in spring ball and hitters are more advanced than pitchers right now. And
it's the other way around.
Actually, yeah.
Well, that's not what they're saying on broadcast when you watch these spring training games.
Don't listen to them. They're idiots.
I mean,
well, no, I think at the start hitters are.
No, they're not. No, pitchers are always ahead of hitters.
Yeah, it's like they've been throwing bullpens for how long, and how many times have these guys seen anything other than some batting practice? They're not seeing that putter. They're not seeing any movement. They're seeing coaches straight ball.
That makes what Bryant and Contreras are doing even more significant.
That's right. Holy shit!
Now, go down the roster real quick.
Not really.
We talk about Bryant. You talk about Wilson. Go down the entire Cubs roster right now, and other than Javi Paez, I'm pretty sure that you can find, of the major Cubs core, at least 4 or 5 players that have that piss and vinegar. I got something to prove this year. You got Chris, you got Wilson, you got Addison, who's
he's always
I don't hope it doesn't prove with hitting, but with
Almora,
Happ. In a sick way, Russell has his own motivation.
Yep. You got Ian Happ trying to say, "Hey, I'm a Showtime guy. I'm a big guy too." You got Albert
Schwarber.
Can I live up to my potential? Now everyone's been talking about me for years. Now it's my turn. And of course, you got Schwarbino going and said, "Hey, by the way, guys, I'm over here still. Remember, you guys talked about me during the World Series. I still can play. And guess what? My defense and left is actually pretty damn solid. Check it out. There's a lot to play for."
If the Cubs just are average for what they can be, they're going to be awesome. They're going to be fine.
Which is like no move means fine.
Right. And I mean, easily over 80 games and probably, closer to 90 or 100 wins. Should be. If every pitcher the top 3, Lester, Darvish, and Hamels, give me a break,
Oh, and there's Kyle Hendricks,
Hendricks is not too bad either.
Kyle Hendricks is...
Except when he grooves 86 miles an hour fastballs right over the plate.
He's actually, against back control teams, he struggles. That's what I actually love about him.
Guys that put him in play?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Thank God he's in the strikeout era.
Kyle Hendricks is the best. He's the same pitcher from February on. Today, he made his debut on Thursday, just 23 pitches, 17 strikes, couple ground balls. He's always the same.
He was great in Jurassic Park too. I loved him. He looks just like Joey Mazzella. Sorry, every time I see him, and by the way, he actually was the bassist, I think, in the new Bohemian Rhapsody movie too. But he looks just like Kyle Schwarber. You take the big old afro wig off, you got Kyle Schwarber. It's scary, frightening. And if again, or not Kyle Schwarber, Kyle Hendricks, excuse me. Wow, woof. Every time Hendricks said, his emotion or lack thereof.
Oh, he has zero. It pisses me off.
It's the best. It's the best. If you're a fan of pitching and you're a fan of Greg Maddux, those types of pitchers, Kyle Hendricks is the most entertaining pitcher to watch because he makes dudes look stupid, not because he punches them out.
Has zero stuff.
Yeah, he makes them look stupid on little weak little thumbers, and it's enjoyable to watch. Actually,
how does he fit an 83 mile an hour fister in there? And get in guys' kitchen. Well, but even Greg Maddux showed emotion. Like, I remember watching Greg Maddux when he was like probably 42, still pitching, throwing like plus 78, absolute molasses up there. And he painted a corner. I mean, he did a perfect sequence where it was like outside third, strike one, outside black, strike two, outside like an inch off the black for strike three. Guy held up, umpire called it a ball. He was pissed. Absolutely pissed, because he's like, now I got to come over. And the guy, next pitch, launched. He came off. He was letting the umpire have it. That was like, Jesus Christ, this guy knows he knows exactly what's going to get leveled and what he can and where he can win. And he knows that he has to get that pitch to win. And he was so angry about it. I loved it. Kyle Hendricks, I think he's got a ways to go before he's Greg Maddux, but same kind of idea. 83, no stuff, all command, and you just got to be perfect.
But misconception, too, is that people think that Greg Maddux at Kyle Hendricks' age threw 83.
He threw like
hard, dude. The dude he
did right.
He threw hard.
Maddox was up near in the low 90s, right?
He was a good 90s. Yeah, he was a 90-plus guy as a high schooler, too, here at Valley High School in Vegas. And, those guys, Hendricks isn't that guy. But Hendricks, I can guarantee you, grew up admiring that kind of.
He had to. Yeah, because he's not going to blow the doors off hitters. He's not going to beat
85 or less does that. It's our hero. It's like short guys loving Altuve. It's you got to.
And then the other.
Speaking of Altuve.
Well, no, I was going to go with one more story from the Cubs camp. You hitting 97 on a gun.
Ooh, popping.
Another guy with something to prove.
On the hairdryer or the stalker?
That's the only thing I care
Kevin
about.
would know what the hairdryer is.
That's the only thing I care about for you drivers this year is that his velocity, or two things. His velocity is up because last year, obviously there was something wrong from the beginning because he was only throwing like in the 80s in the spring. His velocity is in the mid 90s. He was at 94, 96 on Tuesday, I think was his spring debut, and he's healthy. No pain afterward. Yep. It was his first game action since a rehab started in August. So he walked 4 batters. I don't care.
Yeah, he'll figure out location. He'll figure out location. That's something that'll come soon enough. It's just the fact that mid to high 90s on the gun and no pain afterwards. I mean, that should be enough right there to get Cubs fans excited. So,
it'll take him until I'd say probably mid to late March before he has the command that you're looking for. Like I think the idea of coming out there too and letting her rip. Not as much as it's great for like the media to hear, hey man, he was touching 96 on the gun. For him to know that he can let loose, he can now taper it back. But you go max effort to see, do I got it? Because again, that's one of the biggest things that someone coming back from an injury ever does, whether it's an arm, ACL, whatever. They come back and they're like, can I cut this way? Can I explode the same way? Why not check it out right off? You know what? If you hurt yourself on the first ball you throw, good. That's the closest you'll get deep enough to getting back on the field because you can go back and refix it again. In his case, he went out there to do the cheddar, and now he's going to have to learn how to bring it back. You go max effort, now you taper it back to 85, 95, 90% effort, and you start getting that command back. And when you get the command back, all that other stuff, you can say, now I've got the command, now I can start juicing it back up again. But he has the confidence in his body. Confidence in the body is everything to a guy coming back from injury.
You're absolutely right. That's a big point about just like, I'm going to go out today, I'm going to let her rip. And I'm just going to chuck cheese and see how I feel. And he's popping 97, feeling good. Exactly. Then he can get into that repetitive mechanics, feeling 85 to 90%. And that's when that builds from there. Hopefully everything goes according to plan. And by April, man, he's just, he's humming.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So what were you saying about Jose Altuve?
I was going to say.
Speaking of short guys.
Short guys.
Nick Madrigal.
Nick Madrigal. I noticed that Luis Urias is like 5'9". He's the big time second baseman, middle infielder for the Padres. He's 5'9".
Yep.
Oh man, that would suck if he turns out to be the better short second baseman.
They can't lose everything to the Padres. But on the Sox side of things in spring training, a couple things are standing out. Tim Anderson is having himself a pretty good spring. Both sides of the game, his defense, he had a couple diving stops that led to putouts, and at the plate, he's got a home run, a triple. It seems like everyone on the White Sox has a triple.
Yeah, you're right.
And then Lubob is fast. Breaking news. I mean,
don't slide in head first, though.
That's what I said. And then so Nuke and Kevin, I mean, as baseball coaches, players, whatever, I went on Twitter right away. I was like, please stop sliding head first. Especially because dude has a very nice history of broken wrist and fingers.
And hands and thumbs. Yeah.
Stop. Don't
slide on your ass, please.
And so right away, as soon as I did that, though,
Chris Bryant, his shoulder.
He knows better.
I got chastised.
I'm sorry, I can't take it. We lost our best player last year, our best, like an preseason All-American in a preseason game, sliding head first in the second, dislocated his shoulder. No,
so I got chastised right away on Twitter.
Seriously?
People, actually, head first sliding is way safer than feet first.
Give me a break. No.
Nobody.
And the White Sox know it. They had a policy when I was with them. They said they let a select few do it. They said never slide into home head first. Feet first all the time.
That's a broken collarbone immediately.
No. I hated it. I never wanted to go head first because if you're running and you're cooking, you're up high. Now you got to spend time getting low and diving. No, you're like this. You just kick. If you're flying, you just kick the legs out and go.
And the hook slide sweet at home plate. You have actually a bit more body control sliding on your ass than you do ever sliding on your chest. You could actually misdirect. You actually can see something because your head is further away from the glove itself. And your feet are still ahead. You can actually move and adjust your body based on that too. You can pop up early. You can move around. It drives me nuts to see some of these young kids.
I can't stand it.
Although make a note on the official show ledger, don't bring up sliding to these two ever again because they both get
use your ass cheeks.
We're big on fundamentals.
Number one, don't say that hitters are ahead of pitchers in spring training.
Right. Don't do that.
Number two,
don't talk about head first sliding.
And don't you dare insult bunting.
No. I love what the Cubs are doing. I love the bunting.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Red Sox don't bunt. They won the World Series. Shut up. All right. So the other White Sox players, Lubob had a nice triple.
We talked about Dane Dunning.
But yeah, I was going to say.
Oh, yeah, Nuke, you were skeptical about the update.
So, yeah, Dane Dunning had some, what did he say?
Forearm discomfort.
Forearm discomfort. Immediately, everyone here, at least on this show, thought Tommy John was going to happen. And then apparently he went and talked to Dr. Andrews in Florida, the expert in the field, and he told him basically he's just like, take a week off and start a throwing regimen. You'll be fine. You don't need surgery.
And this was coming off last year when they shut him down because he had an elbow strain.
A whole year.
Right. So, I mean, and it's just such a perfect storm for White Sox fans. It's like, sweet.
Yeah. Basabe out.
Basabe breaks his hand. We lose all these free agents, and now Dane Dunning. But I guess the good news is he doesn't need surgery, so it was kind of positive in that aspect. But
right now,
I don't think he's out of the woods.
I don't think so either.
Whenever you have arm issues and it comes up again, that's not that's
especially after that long rest. That's the key to me. And you know what, Tommy John, the typical, I believe the typical place that it hurts is in the forearm. Is that right, Kevin?
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it was the top or the bottom, that would lead to the
in case you were wondering, as we're recording the show, according to Jake Berger's Instagram, Dane Dunning is at the Phoenix Coyotes game with Jake Berger. So,
oh, that's cute.
Yep, there you go. But
arm's feeling good.
I mean, yeah. So
is he icing it, Billy Chappell style?
He's smiling, but I don't know. I mean, again, don't think he's out of the woods. Shitty news keeps rolling. February sucked for White Sox fans. I don't know what else to say there. The other thing that is, I guess, stuck out to me in spring training for the White Sox, and I brought it up a couple times because Ricky brought it up at Sox Fest, but Yo-Yo's new grip when he's at the plate. And it was the reason for this grip is they thought he didn't have enough plate coverage last year on his swing. And that's one of the reasons why he had the awesome K rate that he had last year. So they changed the grip. They said that they talked at a very long length with him about changing his philosophy in the box, not being so take, being a little bit more aggressive. And I think we're seeing that this spring. His swing, especially with 2 strikes, we've seen a couple now 2-strike singles from him where he's shortened up that swing and he's going down and hitting balls that are low and away up the middle and getting on base. He's also got a triple, but he did have 2 Ks today on Thursday against the Mariners that were vintage yo-yo, where it was like, bro, swing the fucking bat. But it was – so I think it's the good and the bad. We're still feeling it out, but I do think there is reason where you can be like, okay, he's starting to turn the corner a little bit. He's playing every game at third so far. Every game he's been in the field. No errors, made a couple – everything's been real routine right now. There's nothing that's been like, oh, shit, maybe he can do it. He's not throwing it from the parking lot to first base on a backhand. He's not there yet. But, I mean, there is reason. I'm trying really hard, guys. I'm trying to polish a fucking turd right now. So it's just like –
shine shit.
Yeah, I mean – it's
well,
just,
hey, no, hold on to the positivity, right?
Wait, have you seen who's hit 2 home runs already? Yonder Alonso.
He looks like someone's dad. Like playing with the team at practice right now.
Yeah, he's so much.
He's huge, and he's just when he doesn't hit a home run, and he has to like trot down to first, like hustle. I'm the slowest human being on this planet Earth. I am the slowest man on Earth. I will challenge anyone that does not need a wheelchair to a race, and I will lose. I am the slowest human being on this planet. I got thrown out from third base, tagging up in Little League. Do you know how hard that is? Do you know how hard that is?
I did the fence in right field.
I did it. But watching him run to first makes me feel like the fucking Flash. I was like,
who wins in a race, him or Paulie?
Paulie. Paulie's got triples. Paulie's got an inside the park home run. People forgot.
Like when he was with the Reds or something.
No, he had
with the Sox. Paul Konerko has an inside the park home run.
There were 7 caroms, and it was like Veterans Stadium.
But I'm just saying, like, I don't know. Yonder's got. I've never really watched Yonder Alonso play actual baseball, and so watching him play, he has a huge swing. Yeah. Holy shit! And that's all torso too.
Oh, it's grip and rip.
I saw I was watching his swing. I was like, damn, I don't know if it's because he's got like a big torso, but I just noticed that huge torso movement. I was like,
huge ass.
Holy shit. And then John Jay went deep, and it was like, okay, guys, stop.
Homering themselves back into the hearts of White Sox fans.
That's what the boy Fagan was saying. He's like, this is what they're going to do, guys. 1 home run at a time. There's a legit consensus on White Sox Twitter that those two are going to get the shit boot out of them on opening day.
I mean,
Who?
we haven't
Jay
talked.
And Alonso?
We haven't talked since Machado's press conference.
Yeah, Machado's not doing them any favors.
Basically said, like, I asked him about San Diego. They both played there. They said it was great. It was a great organization.
What the fuck are you doing, guys? You got one job. You're literally not here because of your on the field contributions. So
what a kick in the junk that was.
A literal like general consensus that on opening day those two are getting the shit boot out of them in their White Sox debuts.
I mean, it's going to be like raining, 35 degrees. The Sox fans showing up there are going to be drunk already.
I'm going to boo. I mean, I don't know. I don't think I'll boo. I talk a big game. I probably won't boo.
I'll definitely opening day.
I'll be filming it, laughing. I probably won't
boo on opening day.
Also, do you agree? And Nuke, I guess you can chime in too. Do you guys agree? Like, it's even worse because.
How did we get back to this?
Alonso, I'm sorry.
Well, not get away from it.
Like Alonso, he's going to be like splitting time at first and DHing, right?
Yeah, taking at bats away from Polka.
From Daniel Polka, who was like the number 1 fan favorite last year, and all of a sudden in a season where you're back to it's just another developing year, like you're taking away at bats from a guy who could maybe be something, but now you're not going to know.
Speaking of Daniel Polka,
Go ahead.
He left his first spring training game with
hamstring.
Yeah. Yes, and we haven't really seen him since.
They'll find a spot. They will get Polka his at-bats. He's still got to prove himself. He had a great year. Nicky Delmonico also had a great year the first time.
Nicky Delmonico might want to pack that suitcase too. Nicky Delmonico, #pack your shit.
Who makes the team, him or Geyer?
Well, that's
Geyer. Right now, Geyer.
I was listening to the broadcast. Number one, okay, listen. Kurt Bloom is he's the media guy for Birmingham. Love him. Great. Very good color guy. Who's the other guy?
I think he's
Ed
the
Farmer?
WGN guy.
No, Ed
Terrible.
Farmer, White Sox.
Who is it?
It's a WGN reporter, isn't it?
Not good. Not good, Bob.
Not good. Not great, Bob. I go.
I mean, all right, listen. 90% of what he says, I'm just like, that's just bullshit. And then he would know better than me. Apparently, he spoke to Delmonica or to Geyer, and Geyer said that the organization is promising.
Yes, I heard that too.
And I'm like, WTF?
Like in spring training or in the season?
No,
in the season.
training.
I mean, okay, yeah, in spring, he's just another depth guy. Yeah, why not?
No, but like it sounded like no, we're giving Geyer priority over Delmonico.
Oh,
Which I'm like, huh?
I do want to make it clear. I think Nicky Delmonico seems like a great guy. When he was grooving, it was awesome. But he is
he won Rookie of the Year when he was
on my fourth glass of wine. Just so
he is having a rough, and that's putting it nicely, a rough spring training. He looks lost at the plate. He made a terrible error in left field, and it's just I don't know if he's not going to make this team as a first baseman. He played first the other day in spring training. It's like, well, they were just putting you there so to get you at bats, and you didn't do anything. And then they put him in left field, and I mean,
this is what we know. This is what we know, and this is what we talked about. I think maybe like a month ago about this because we were kind of like, "Where's what happens when Eloy comes up? Who's the odd man out?" It's Delmonico. I know, Zoe. You thought it was Engel. It's not.
He's actually having a good spring.
Yeah, and let's pump the brakes there. He had a good spring last year too. Remember?
He had over to pump the brakes, statue man.
Pump the brakes.
Yeah.
No, but defensively,
no gas, no brakes. That's
all gas, no brakes.
No gas, no brakes. We don't have any.
We just stay.
Yeah, we're stuck. We're just hoping we find a hill to go down.
We're buffering.
Yeah, but Delmonico's the guy, and I don't think Geyer makes it. But what about Ryan Cordell? Remember, before Ryan Cordell got injured last year, he was pretty much the guy that was going to be up there. But
about Blake Rutherford.
That's what I was just going to say. That's
the name. Rutherford is up in the big leagues this year.
No,
okay, wait.
He starts in Double-A.
Go ahead with Rutherford.
He'll start in Double-A.
Interesting article came out in The Athletic yesterday about Blake Rutherford. He essentially went to baseball school this offseason where he went to hitting and fielding clinics with 9 Hall of Famers and 6 former All-Stars to pick their brains, get tips, things like that. It looks like and I know Nuke, you appreciate this shit, he's shortened up his swing.
I love short swings.
He's shortened up his swing. He is looking very, very good at the plate. He finished the year last year very strong in Winston-Salem. I think, in all honesty, I think that he starts the year in Birmingham and a good, successful season for him ends in Charlotte.
Yeah, and by ends, I mean ends.
He finishes the year in Charlotte.
Just gets his feet wet. If he lights the Southern League on fire, we could see him there in July.
Right.
But there's no way he comes up.
Speaking of that, where did the talk of Nick Madrigal playing for the White Sox this year come up?
I don't know. Wherever that came from, put it back in its place.
I am like the president of the Nick Madrigal fan club, and I even know the earliest you see him, perfect storm is 2020.
Like some fans are talking about like it's a guarantee. Like
give me a break. Stop.
What's the service time? That's when you'll see him.
Yeah, it's just
by the way,
last service time moment till 2021, till they change that. You're going to see everybody milking that one for all it's worth because it's going to be gone.
Yeah, he looks fine. I mean,
I like his hands. His hands are fast. He's got that big leg kick. I think he gets exposed a little bit. If someone can like cut him up, but I think he can hit the fastball, and I think he's a smart enough hitter that he can get to the fastball, in those counts and make hitters. But the thing with the big leagues is they're not going to give you that heater in those 2-0 counts.
Nope.
You know, they're going to have a good enough changeup or a hammer to, you know, they can get it.
He'll have to adapt his swing too. I mean, the leg kick is great. Great again when you're facing mediocre, competition. Right. But again, when you look at AA too, I mean, really, that's the jump. I mean, and so when you get up there, I mean, you can look at even. I'll tell you this too. And I'll compare Chris again. He's taller this year than he's normally been. He's usually more crouched. He's actually decided to go a little bit taller this year. He seems like he's, again, he was taller in high school. He went to USD and he shifted down to more of a more crouched uppercut, and now he's standing a little more upright. And so when these guys get up there, they make you have to have on-site adjustments, and he'll make those adjustments based on it. But really, what you can account for is hand speed and the stuff that the natural gifts that allow him to adapt to the game itself. It's a tweak at that point. It's really like, hey man, maybe your timing's off a little bit. Let's cam the leg, the big leg kick, make it a no stride, or you're gonna maybe go back and say, hey, how about make it just maybe less noisy of a swing? Maybe you can take that down just a tad. But when you have the hands,
get that foot down.
Yep, just get that. Yeah, be early, be on time. Be ready, be on time.
Corbino's mantra this year: get the foot down and hit. Isn't that didn't Schwarber say that? That was his big revision: get the foot down and drive.
Yeah, he's going back to his crouch.
Boom.
Yep.
Right.
Be ready, be on time. Done.
Boom. There you go. That's hitting in a nutshell.
I forget who brought it up, but they were like, "What are the chances?" I think it might have been Beefloaf or maybe it was Right Sox. Tom Fernelli, but
he has been on a banner week and a half. Every single tweet is hilarious.
I forget. I think it was him that brought it up. It was like, what are the chances that Nick Madrigal is worse than Yohan Moncada, but Sox fans love him more? Because we all saw the Tide last year where it's like, Moncada sucks, but like everyone's going to love their little Nick Madrigal and his 700 OPS. But look at him. He's scrappy.
Yeah, he might be one of those guys that gets the
he's gonna be the Ryan Terrio. Like, look at him, he's grinding. He's grinding.
The Aaron Rowans. It's
we love him because he ran into a fence 170 miles an hour and broke his nose.
We love his CTE, but it's basically he's getting into that category.
Like, look, he hits 300, but his on base is 310.
I hope he doesn't, because then I'll have to turn in my presidential pin because I can't get. I think he's going to be good, but I don't know. I hope it's not in that nature. So as we come up on time here, I know last week we said we'd start doing like season preview type stuff, but then, Bryce Harper happened. So I think that put a bow on the MLB offseason until the White Sox trade for Jock or sign Adam Jones or sign.
That's
do you even, at this point, do you even want them to?
Really sign Adam Jones.
Do you even want them to sign Adam Jones? Like, what's the
point? I don't want to do anything.
We're almost too far into the season, Zoe, for the White Sox to be making any changes.
I
really
agree.
Ride or die.
I really agree. I don't even.
So apathetic. Yeah, I'm so apathetic to any move they could possibly make.
If they got Keuchel and Kimbrel,
sure,
whatever.
Why do you need you don't need a closer when you're not gonna.
Kimbrel's a waste of money right now.
Yeah, he would be like even Keuchel. Like,
sure. Is he gonna win? How many 1-0 games is he gonna win? Like,
the White Sox could use pitching. I would take Keuchel. I would not overpay for him.
Keuchel.
I want him. I'd take
Irvin Santana.
Ooh,
Irvin Santana. Mr. Delicious Beefloaf put out the perfect tweet with that one. He put Chubb's hand.
I think from the Wild guys.
Live look at Irvin Santana.
They also had the side by side of Madrigal and that one short player.
The historic small guy. Yeah.
They both had the leg. Oh my god.
Chubbs.
So
you get Chubb's hand.
We'll get started on the talking season previews and stuff next week and actually talking about baseball. We got into a little bit of it today, which is good.
Even play 2019? White Sox. Should we even play?
And then they're definitely going to play, and you should all definitely continue to listen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Buy tickets. They may sign Mike Trout in 2 years.
Yeah.
They might also sign this kid. He's 4 years old. They thought they had the best offer. He'll be really good one day in 17 years.
Kid moves that shit on the tee.
And tune in for the latest Chris Bryant free agency rumors as well.
Yes, we will be breaking those rumors weekly. Chris Bryant free agency rumors coming straight from Pinwheels and Ivy. Credit Pinwheels and Ivy.
Shout out Charles the Cat on Cubs Twitter.
Remember, 14 mystery teams. There's the Cubs and 14 mystery teams right now.
And then 5 teams in.
4 dark horses. Don't forget the dark horses.
The dark horse.
There's 4 of those, and they're riding in.
Yep.
Because Harper will recruit his best friend.
Cover of night.
For K-Fids, 4 Glasses Deep Nuke, and Aldo, I'm Matt Sawaski. This is Pinwheels and Ivy. We'll talk to you guys next week. Take it easy, everybody.